Today is December 7th, and 82 years ago, Pearl Harbor was the first, was the initial, was the incipient moment that provided one of the greatest forms of what you would call conspiracy theories ever. My dear friends, I say to you right now that if you want to spend some time actually looking at one of the most fascinating issues there is, bar none, I suggest to you that you look no further than that of Pearl Harbor. We have a lot to talk about today, my friends. We'll talk about a little bit on Pearl Harbor, 82nd anniversary. We'll talk about a corrupt American politicians pretending to care about Epstein when in fact they don't. We'll talk about Christie, the blowhard and bloviating bilious bombast. We'll talk about Israel and Palestine and how this is completely, this has just, this has devolved into, I don't know what. America teetering on more war with Kirby and others threatening American involvement in what, Ukraine next? And do the Americans know what they're doing in terms of foreign policy and domestic for that matter? Also, the no-shite obviousness of Tucker Carlson, the man who was like the Chauncey Gardner of usual political commentary, who basically says nothing, but you think it's brilliant. Hey, it's a free country. And I say, the laughable notion of Trump as a dictator, and why are campus and college professors so devoid of even the most rudimentary ideas of what not to say when asking whether hate speech is allowed on their campuses? Join us, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Join us and welcome. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that little bell so you're always notified of live streams and new announcements. But first, a word from our most, because by the way, I don't know if you've been following this, the information, the news regarding gold and crypto, and as we notice what appears to be I don't want to say a calamitous, but dare I say the end of times in many respects. Listen carefully from our good friends at LionelNationGold.com. Well, chances are you've seen it before. The chaos in the markets, oil and stocks. Just when you thought it was safe and interest rates were rising, new threats come out of nowhere. Tensions are boiling from Asia to Europe. Adaptation is the key here to safeguarding your wealth. You may not have considered gold before. It's not speculation, but insurance. And right now, you need some insurance. Noble Gold Investments have been protecting investors from disaster for years with precious metals. So if you're worried, it might be time to take a fresh look at gold and silver. Gold is a proven safe haven shield for your portfolio and a volatility balance against uncertainty. If it helps, Noble Gold Investments is offering a free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin with its new IRAs this month. If you open your Noble Gold Investments IRA or 401k rollover, you can claim your coin today. Remember, crisis brews, portfolios waver, and gold insulates. Secure yourself against the threats. So go to LionelNationGold.com. That's LionelNationGold.com, or call 877-646-5347 and tell them Lionel sent you. The only gold company I trust. Now remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. Indeed, my friend. This morning before I do this, I have, for those of you who are just brand new to this, I have this. This is my YouTube safe haven. This is my YouTube nice chat, where nice people show up, where we talk about things within the parameters of the usual form of decorum and deportment and the like. My private channel is that link where I can say anything I want and go deep and dark and devilish into areas that I promise you nobody would ever want you to do except for me. And I don't know why I am talking like this. Now, what we need to do also is for you to recognize a few things which are very, very critical. First and foremost, If you don't have any questions as to December the 7th, you simply do not belong in our country. You do not belong in the world of sentient human beings. You do not belong among the rational adults. If you don't have any questions, you have to know where to look. And if I were to even suggest what were the antecedents of this? What were the causes? What were what were the bases of this? What was this about, dear friend? I would say to you, first and foremost, that you must understand, you must grasp the notion of where we were then, the zeitgeist, this particular epoch, what FDR said, the war to end all wars and blah, 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 and all this other kind of jazz. That is what we need to be discussing. And the role of Churchill and the role of the British from Edward the Seventh, I believe, on down. Tertius Gaudens, Perfide Albion. Dare I say, am I making any sense to you? Of course not. You've never been told anything about this. You have no idea. You kind of have an idea, maybe something about, I don't know, aircraft carriers or something. But you've never even remotely been told this. You have no idea. How is it that anybody can possibly expect you or anybody for that matter to really have a grasp as to what's going on if nobody tells you the truth? If nobody tells you specifically what the truth is, how are you supposed to understand what history is when you don't know? And it's not your fault, but where would you possibly go? Where would you go? Where would you even begin to know what happened then? What was this about? And here is the question. And I want to see if you can try this, my dear friends, my dear wonderful friends, because we're going to talk about everything. Why do you think Japan would attack us? Japan knew it would get its ass kicked mightily, resoundingly. Why do you think? Why? Paradigms are painless. They bring on many changes. Suicide is painless. All right, thank you. Humans are expendable. Yes, I love the truism. Thank you, Slug. Thank you for saying the obvious. War is nature's way of eliminating. Yes. 15-year-olds joining the military in 1943. Was that about flat Earth, man? By the way, are there any flat earthers around? Are there any flat earthers around? Do you still exist, you wonderful flat earth people? Do you exist? Are you still with us? Are you still among us? I'm going to leave you with that because you don't, with all due respect, you don't know. Danny says the War Department's probably assessed that the war with Germany would be over soon, but Japan was still determined to keep fighting. No. Nice. Try this. I don't know. Don't guess. Say, I don't know. I don't understand this. Now, let's move along because this subject is going nowhere and nowhere fast. And by the way, let me just say this one more time. If you want to get into some stuff that I don't think a lot of our regular social media friends, they don't like that which is construed to be a conspiracy theories. SpaceX says FDR ordered the aircraft carriers and the modern batteries, cruisers, support ships out of Hawaii. He left the aging World War I vessels on. Can you say Sunday morn? That was indeed interesting, but why? I think there is absolutely, positively evidence that he knew far more than he ever said. But why? We'll get to that next. My friends, I don't want to say anything about people being fat. I don't like that joke about people being fat. All right. It's easy. You're a fat, you're fat, you're fat. But I didn't watch any of that nonsense last night. I didn't watch any of this. I couldn't watch any of this horrid show. But let me tell you what I did see. Christie is trying his utmost, his best to try and to make a name for himself so he'll get a gig on ABC, CNN. Nikki Haley shilling for the military-industrial complex for the war profiteers. He's doing that. He's not going to win. But he's kind of funny. But here's the part that gets me. Do you know what's interesting? Years ago, he had some kind of like laparoscopic surgery or bariatric or some kind of surgery. It never took. Have you ever seen anything where people have the surgery and it never took? How about Oprah? Oprah says, "Oh, I didn't take Ozempic." Oh, come on, stop it. Why do people lie about things? This poor guy, he had the surgery, nothing took. And she says, no, just clean living. Christie has absolutely no chance of winning everything. Next, would you please tell me why there is this repeated pretend interest that people have in Epstein? I was watching our good friend The Hill or The Rising or whatever the hell it was. I don't know what it was, which is very, very good. You should watch Sagar and Crystal Ball on Breaking Points. And then Brianna and the other dude on, I can never remember his name, but they're very good on The Hill Rising. Very, very good. And boy, you want to get your pro-Palestinian. And by the way, it's not anti-Israel, but wow, it's good stuff. Good stuff. But they keep saying this stuff about, why do we get the log records? Would you stop with the log records? That's not the thing with the log records. Let me explain to you. Do you want me to tell you the story about Epstein? It's very simple. Imagine this. I'm the prosecutor. Ma'am, yes, come on in, have a seat. Yes, Madam Prosecutor. Would you have a seat? Yes. Were you among the, yes, you were victimized by Epstein, yes, and you were at the Epstein estate, and were you the victim of sexual abuse? Yes. Okay, very good. I'm going to show you some pictures, and I want you, because remember, the question is, where are the films? Where is the data? Not the logs. Where is the film? I have an idea, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. But I talk about it on my private channel because who would have that? Whoever has that? Imagine you have a veritable treasure trove of all of these people. I mean, the biggest names on the planet. Where is that? Not the records, not the black book, but where's the evidence? Where is the evidence of those people? What if I said, have a seat, miss, ma'am? Here's a book of all these things. Do you I recognize that man. Who is this? Did he have sex with you? Yes. How old are you? I was 15. Do you please put a little note on that? Yeah. This person was, and then later on you figure out maybe he was some kind of a, I don't know, some person of note. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been quiet lately. The one, the only, the inimitable, the ineffable. You know him, you love him. Number 16 in your program, number 1 in your heart. I give you Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my dear friend. The question. This is important. I got to breathe. Dan writes, so if I was incorrect with my prior comment, which you alluded to, did we drop the A-bombs because the Japanese look different than us? I don't know what that means. No. Why had we had the A-bombs a little earlier, we might have thought about dropping them on Europe, but I don't think so. My friends, let me see if I can explain this to you again. You know, and I know the issue is not the flight logs. The issue is who has all of the pictures and the hard drives and the thumbnails and the photos. Everything that Epstein had was a recording studio. the apartments, the beaches, the islands, the planes. That's the story. What are you waiting for? Please stop it. Enough with this, okay? But nobody's going to talk about that because whoever has that has a trove of blackmail and honeypot and dirt and extortion, the likes of which you cannot believe. Next, Israel and Palestine. My friends, let me ask you, what will be the solution to that issue? What will be the solution? Let me ask you this question. What will be the solution? Please tell me, I beg you. Please, dear friends, I ask you, what will be the solution to that? Tell me. Tell me. These stories, by the way, somebody's got to get to the bottom of these and really kind of source these stories a little bit better, just a little bit better, because these claims that people are saying, well, there's some of these things, I'm sorry to say, aren't exactly what you say they were. And if you dare claim that something was the way it was when it wasn't, if you claim that people were raped or this was the version of some kind of satanic whatever it is, and that didn't happen, you're opening yourself up to a veritable host, a bevy, a seemingly endless series of distrust and belief. So what do you think it is? Nothing. Things will remain the same. Someone writes, Israel will take all of Gaza, full stop. I don't think there is a solution. Tribal mentality. Japanese beheaded non-compliant Romanian soldiers. Okay. You understand this? Expected end or can't say. You do know there will not be, you're not going to have Palestinians head off to Egypt or any place else for that matter. They're not going anywhere. Israel is not going anywhere. What happens to Gaza? You blow it up. You make it a parking lot. Do you think Hamas is gone? No. You've just recruited more Hamas. What people are saying is this is what they're saying now. This is apartheid or genocide or ethnic cleansing. What they're doing, people say, is they're just making it impossible for Palestinians to live there. If they don't blow them up, they have settlements. That's what's being said. Other people say, of course not. That's absurd. That's specious. That's lunacy. Understand what people are saying. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparky writes, blame it on the BB. Then go and sim no more. By the way, you may quote me on that. Well, thank you. Blame it on the BB. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good time. Blame it on the BB. BB Rebozo, another famous BB. BB Gun. BB King. Okay, fine. Nobody. People are very afraid of this. Next, this may be the most. Do Democrats know what they are doing? Please answer the question. Do Democrats know what they're doing? Do Democrats know what they're doing? A simple yes or no will do. Do Democrats know what they are doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, do Democrats know what they're doing? Yes. Oh, no, or no. Hillbilly says yes. Thank you, Hill. Love you, man. Love you. Hillbilly says, of course they do. Democrats know what they're doing? Do they know what they're doing? This is very interesting. You read this differently. You know what? I stand corrected. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. And the reason why I stand corrected is very simply this. I was going to say, no, they don't. But they do. What you're saying very wisely is that they know exactly what they're doing. And this is by design. They're not doing something because they don't know what they're doing. They're not fools. Oh, no. You got me on that one. Absolutely. Incredible, my friends. Incredible. Next question. Very interesting question I have to ask you. Could you please explain to me, and maybe you are of the same position, but would you please tell me what is it that is so captivating about Tucker Carlson? Can you please explain this to me? Is it because you have been so bereft of anything that you think to yourself, "Wow, this guy's pretty good"? Can you? I don't understand this. Tucker Carlson. I was watching this one on what was it? Oh yes, it was. Um, oh, here we go. Zelensky Zelensky drops out from call with U.S. senators. Tucker Carlson decries corruption. No, really? Do you think? Can you please explain this to me? Am I missing something, dear friend? Am I, dare I say, is what he is saying? Have you? It's heard everywhere. Alex Jones says, I mean, well, I'll do it. Alex Jones, I'm going to see his redemption one day. I don't agree with everything he's always ever said, obviously, but he makes a lot of sense and always had in certain circumstances. He kind of went off the rails. One of those things I don't understand. Rumor has it, don't claim that shootings never happen. Now, does he have the right to say that? Of course he does. Of course he does. Remember, he, like Trump, he was basically found. It's almost like a summary judgment. He defaulted in his particular lawsuit, and they went straight for damages. I don't understand the particular theory of that because he didn't want to reveal whatever it was. But I'm telling you, my friend, I am an absolute purist when it comes to First Amendment. You have the right to say everything, which leads me to the next question. Do you think that college students should be able to stand on the steps of law school and say that Israel is responsible or involved in genocide, or Israel is this or that? Do you believe, and this is very important, that colleges should stop this anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, pro-Israeli genocide nonsense? Do you? Think very carefully of that. But while we do this, I want you to understand something too. Did you read about the control oligarchs? Did you read this? A great piece about how Bill Clinton and other people are trying to control everything up to and including food. This is not a joke, my friends. And that's why it's critical for you right now to pay very, very close attention to these special words from preparewithlionel.com. Patriot, the world at every level and facet is in peril. Everything has changed. The Great Reset is here. Just look around you. You must become more self-reliant and sufficient and secure the future for your family. Act today with My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the country's largest preparedness company, and it's more than equipped to stock your shelf. Their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit provides delicious breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years in storage. And right now, listen carefully, it's $200 off. That's right. Get over 2,000 calories every day. Just add water and heat, then eat. Make sure every member of your family has a 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. Go right now to my special website at preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com for $200 in savings. Be sure to order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. It's best to have emergency food and not need it than to need it and not have it. Take $200 off right now at preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. Write this down, commit it to memory, preparewithlionel.com. Indeed, my friends, indeed, prepare instanter. So let me say what is and what is not available on college campuses. What is and what should not be said. What is and is not permissible. What is and is not. Now, I have a very simple rule. Number one, as an individual, if you stand outside on a college campus, if you're at a mall, if you're in a public park, and you scream the most horrid of things, you should be able to say so. Thoughts are protected. Thoughts are protected ideas. Period. Period. Thoughts are protected ideas. Thoughts are protected ideas. Thoughts are protected ideas. Thoughts, no matter how horrible, no matter how scurrilous. If Hitler and Amazon can publish, Mein Kampf, I never understood what the big deal was about people, and they're listening to the words of Osama bin Laden. So what? Sparky knows. Listen to this, man. Sparky says nearly 100% support from U.S. Congress, plus Elon's full-throated fellatio made Netanyahu feel empowered enough to continue, even if Biden administration says to cool it. I think, my friend, that certainly has a tremendous degree of truth. And I'm telling you, Sparky, I'm telling you right now, in my humble opinion, Bibi Netanyahu is saying to his people, his Israeli constituency, listen, we're going to get this job done, and we're not going to let anybody tell us what to do. Hamas is in Gaza. We're going to get rid of Hamas, even if it means getting rid of Gaza. And as soon as they don't like this, the Palestinian group, Palestinian Authority, whatever, will do something about decrying, denouncing, or removing it. And that's it. He has his own political wherewithal, his own political life. And there are people, a tremendous number of people in Israel who want that to happen. We were the ones who in Vietnam said, we got to get the job done. We could have won that war. Won that war? What does that mean? Just destroy him. Destroy what? So, the scripts change somewhat, but the underlying message is the same. Thank you, Sparky. Now let's go back to this. If I'm a university president, I'm going to say, here's what we're going to do. Number one, we, the university, do not endorse, ratify, endorse this particular idea regarding hate or whatever it is regarding particular people. The students can say whatever the hell they want. Now, if the students decide to put on a letterhead on behalf of an organization that has our label on it, our aegis, our escutcheon, Harvard or Yale or Brown, whatever it is, we can tell you absolutely, oh, no. We are not, by virtue of lending our escutcheon, our emblem, we are not in any way countenancing this kind of lurid and horrible behavior. We are not in any way. Do you understand what we're saying? We are not doing that. We are not going to do this. Number two, when asked if Elise Stefanik asked me, do you hear the University of Pennsylvania professor? She's the worst. Look, do you endorse? Thank you for asking that. You always say this. Thank you for your question. First, we do not endorse, ratify, justify, prefer, agree with hate speech. However, we're not very good at parsing what is and is not hate. The thing that is the most important, and what many, many people find difficult, is we have these weird kind of senses of what's hate. You can say anything you want about white people, correct? Anything you want about white people. Isn't that correct? Of course that's correct. You can say anything you want about white people. Anything. You can say that white people are this and white people are that and white people are this and white people are that. And you can say whatever you want regarding white people. Isn't that true? Absolutely it's true. Yes, it's true. Of course it's true. Okay? Period. Now, I don't know how to say this any other way than that, but that doesn't seem very fair to me. Yet you can say things about gay people or trans. Oh, dear God. If you stood on the steps at Harvard or Yale or Columbia and said that trans people are loathed by, or an abomination to God, oh my Lord, you would be extravasated from reality. You would be ground into nothing. You would not exist any longer. Period. End of discussion. So the problem that people have is, well, why do they get away with it, but you don't? What is how does this work? How does this work? And that's the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparky says on October the 7th, Palestinians have suffered more in U.S. than Jewish college students. Zionism isn't anti-Semitism. Oh, I agree with you. Absolutely. First of all, anti-Zionism is not. If somebody were to suggest, Sparky, that there was remember the Pan-African movement. There was this Marcus Garvey, and they used the notion of Exodus. Remember, Reverend, was it Bryant? Reverend, what's his name? Remember the black the black Reverend who was Obama's friend or whatever. He basically was talking about this kind of a separatism, which, by the way, because they wanted to actually kind of reunite, to leave kind of a separatist, to go to Liberia, whatever, for others to, okay. If you did not support that wouldn't have made you racist. In fact, and here's the best part, Sparky, you're going to love this. Years ago, one of the interesting side issues about people who kind of hid their idea, a lot of people who were, as you would say, anti-Semitic, for lack of disagreement, would say they didn't care for black folks at all. I mean, excuse me, Jews. So what they would do is they go, oh, no, we're Zionists. Yeah. Oh, we want Jews to go to their homeland. Get out. That's what they were saying. Some of them weren't necessarily pro-Jewish. They just wanted Jews out of the country. Get out. Go there. Go someplace else. That, not everybody, but a lot of them did. And they were called Zionists. And there were other folks who had this idea of the only reason why they cared about Israel was because of this eschatological end of times Armageddon business. They believed that their version of Bible prophecy was that the end of the world would happen there. So because of that fact, they said, well, obviously, we're going to happen. It's going to be Israel. I don't know why the end of the world couldn't have happened with Palestine, but I don't know. So a lot of times people kind of hide behind ideas. But I agree with this part. If you are against the notion of the establishment of a Jewish state, just like some people would be against the notion of the absence or the establishment of a Palestinian state, that does not make you necessarily anti-Semitic. There were some people who believed years ago who didn't believe that maybe a state that Texas, we should have grabbed Texas from Mexico, whatever it is. The two have nothing to do with each other. But as you know, Sparky in particular, there is a wonderful benefit that people have right now by confusing, by confusing and mixing up everything into a melange of confusion, so that people will, how do I say this? So that people will not know really what's going on. It's very, very complicated. Now, I have a very simple thing, and I want you to understand something, because Sparky, you in particular, will understand this. As you know, and I tell you all this all the time, that the great F. Scott Fitzgerald said that the sign of a superior mind is to be able to handle two seemingly inconsistent ideas simultaneously while maintaining the ability to function. It means that you can have one particular idea and two particular ideas working concomitantly, but yet still not lose your mind. So while you should be able to say, yes, I believe that Israel has a right to exist. Certainly. Israel has a right to exist. And if you want to go back after the fact, if you want to reverse 75 years of UN establishment, good luck with that. Should they be able to coexist with Palestine? Yes. That's what ostensibly people say. Can they ever? Of course not. It's not going to ever work. It's not going to work because there's too many incentives for people to destroy that particular idea of kumbaya togetherness. You know it, and I know it, and we all know it. You got it? You got it? Okay. Now, next, the way Israel is handling Gaza is ridiculous. It's not working. My friends, you and I remember after 9/11, we wanted to go and get those bastards who did this to us. We weren't sure who those bastards were or where they were, but if you say it's Iraq, I'll go there. Great. Thanks a million. Let's go. Okay? That's exactly what happened. Let's go. And we're going to get those bastards. Well, what did women? Terrorism, it doesn't matter what terrorism is. Shut up. Terrorism is like, it's an ideology. It's like trying to catch smoke with your hands. It didn't matter. We want names. We want a place. We want bombs. We want to find these people and we want to let them have it. That's what we want to do. Okay. All right, fine. That's the way we were. So we know exactly the way Israel feels. Exactly. Always be able to empathize with everybody. You don't have to agree with it, but empathize. Be empathic. Know what and how they feel. Okay? You dig? Good. Good. Now, let's continue on. Hamas is playing this thing beautifully. Hamas can be shut down in a moment by virtue of non-funding, but nobody's going there. This is very, very complicated. But the question is simply this. Do we continue, if we continue, this is a practical thought, if we continue to indefinitely and unconditionally support everything that Israel wants in terms of armaments and bombs and technology, the idea is that others, Palestinian bad people, are going to want to invoke or impart bad things against us because we are basically arming. We are the enemy of their enemy. They're actually the friend of their enemy. Does that make sense to you? Sparky says, could be argued that Hitler was a scientist before settling on the final solution. Well, look, let me explain something to you and listen to me carefully. And I'm glad we get this chance right now. Do yourself a favor. If you ever are in public and you feel the need to bring up Hitler as an example, as a comparative, as a comparison, if you feel, or anyway, do yourself a favor. Stop. You are not going to win. Unless you are delivering a lecture on the history of World War II or something that deals specifically with an event. Do not ever do this. You're going to lose. Let me see if I can explain this. There is no comparison to Hitler. There is none. Do not sully. Do not confuse words like Holocaust, Hitler. Do not. Think of another word. Think of another phrase. There's a number of reasons to do this. Number one, accuracy. Number two, intellectual and historical verity. And also, you've got to be crazy to do this today. You understand this? Call Me Red says, watching Lionel wearing my free MyPillow slippers using promo code Lionel allows me to remain the same inside my underground bunker. Wow. I'm digging that. Thank you for that. Let me just remember something. Pick the hill you want to die on. This is the most important thing you can ask your friends. Understand where you are. There are people who love to do two things. Number one, they love to be piquant, I should say. They love to mix it up. They love to bring up and confuse and bring up things like all the time. Oh, always, Hitler. Okay. You can spend the rest of your life trying to figure that one out and going through it and understanding. I'm telling you right now, it's just, you can do whatever you want. But if you can't figure out how to work around, how to meander around those subjects, then you're really shouldn't be discussing this. There are certain things that will be great to say, but if you say them, you're going to get killed. during when COVID was out of control and COVID mania, if you said anything about ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, you were, but people demanded. They said, I've got to say this. Okay. And they were cut out, shut down, and pushed away, never to be seen from again. But they held their ground. But they were never seen from again. But they held their ground. They couldn't figure a way around it. They couldn't say, okay, I'm going to convey the idea, but I'm going to use your rules. Oh, no, no, no. They had to say this. Same thing happens with election denial. They had to say this. There are people who say that the election was stolen. And you say, well, can you say the entire election was stolen? Well, yeah, no, you can't. You can say parts of it were. That's absolutely true. But you have no proof. Wow, we didn't have any proof because the courts didn't allow it. That may be true, but you can't say it. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, this is, I've been through this since since really 2001. And that's why today is so beautiful. The whole notion of Pearl Harbor, because this was the granddaddy of conspiracy theories. Sparky says, you don't need to be Jewish to be Zionist. Of course not. Of course not. No. In fact, there are people, let me see if I can explain this to you. You do know that in Israel, 20%, 30% are not Jewish. They're Arabs, Catholics. When I was in Israel, I was at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And they had, how do I say this? They had Christian versions, Coptics, Russian Orthodox, East Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. There were more people than you can imagine. None of them were Jewish. None of them, but they're all Israelis. All Israelis. Then when you go to the souk in Jerusalem, the market where you buy, they're all Arab. They're all Israelis. They all live there. They lived there. They worked there. One guy had a T-shirt. It was an Arab feller with whatever his, not keffiyeh, but whatever the headdress was. But he certainly was not Jewish. And he was selling T-shirts that said, "Don't worry, America. No, don't worry. Don't worry, America. Israel's behind you." And it was like an F-14 or something. This one guy was selling a T-shirt. I love this. He says, I'm with the Mossad. My job is so secret, even I don't know what it is. And they were selling this stuff in Jerusalem, in Israel, and they weren't Jewish. So when you say you don't have to, Israelis are anti-Zionist or Zionist, read Haaretz, read other people, read Peter Beinart, read Max Blumenthal, read all these folks, listen to them. This is axiomatic. Sparky says, Bibi brought up Mustache Man in the same context before I did. Yeah. Again, Sparky, you can push it. You can say, I'm going to say this. I'm going to get this out. You're entitled to. Okay. What's even funnier, Sparky, the people who talk about Nazism who don't care about what's going on in Ukraine. That's my favorite part. You would think that this would be the most important thing in the world. You would think that people would be so, but yet, in Ukraine with the right sector and the Azov battalion, my God, these are real bona fide Nazis. They're there now. And we're talking about giving money to the, wait a minute, what? Because we don't know what we're talking about. Now, somebody mentioned before, MyPillow, promo code Lionel, mypillow.com. I'm glad they brought that up because Christmas is just around the corner. And I am telling you, we are a MyPillow household and we love them and you will too. And listen carefully. Let me tell you about my great friends at mypillow.com. Mypillow.com. And by the way, use promo code Lionel. And receive a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I realize that gifts are free. It's a tautology. Get over it. Sue me. So what are we talking about? How about Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to luxuriate and relax. And don't forget, Christmas is just around the corner. And yes, it makes a great stocking stuffer, and it's fine for dad or grad. Made by the greatest company from the greatest people in the greatest country. Or call 800-645-4965 if you're OG, and see how quickly Mike Lindell answers the phone. 800-645-4965. But don't forget, only use promo code Lionel. That's mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. You know, my friends, we have a wonderful, wonderful game that we can play where we can say this, what about this? And that's fine. But I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look at Israel as party of the first part, and Palestine or whatever is a party of the second part. And I want you to evaluate this as though Israel were, let's say, France or Algeria or any other country. Most of us would be saying something completely different. If we went in, if during Iraq, if we went in and we said, Al-Qaeda's in Iraq, and we basically leveled it. I mean, leveled it to the point of destroying every aspect of Iraq. People would say, this is excessive. This is ridiculous. This is nuts. What are you doing? By the way, I need 250 likes. What the hell's the matter with you people? What are you doing to me? Anyway, people would say, that is enough. That's exactly what's going on here right now. So, my friends, as we look today, as we review everything, and we've had a fascinating subject matter. We talked about this Pearl Harbor 82 years ago, the best conspiracy theory ever. Ever. Okay? Believe me when I'm telling you this. We're tired of corrupt Americans pretending to care about Epstein. We talked about Christie, the bombast and blowhard. We're talking about Epstein and RFK, by the way. Israel and Palestine, America teetering into war. Do the Democrats know what they're doing? I liked it. You fooled me because I was looking at it one way. And the no shite obviousness of Tucker Carlson, along with Trump as a dictator, which nobody particularly cares about, and how lunacy is handled on college campuses. Now, a couple of things here. One of the best, you want to see a great interview, a great, did I say great? Yes, a great interview. Mrs. L is interviewing, I don't want to say an old friend of ours, but a dear friend, one of the best people in the world. Her name is Manila Chan. And Mrs. L and she have this interview, and I want you to go right now and use this link to both see it, watch it, but also to subscribe to Mrs. L's channel. It is one of the best things you can imagine. It is fabulous. Great conversation. It's civility, it's kindness, it's class, it's beautiful. Sparky says, people have said that there can't be Nazis in Ukraine because Zelensky is literally Jewish. His mom wasn't Jewish, so he's not literally Jewish. Well, yeah, you can get into this. That's like people say, hey, how come John Gotti Jr. is in the mob when his mother was Jewish? And listen to me. If you want to go through the notion of Quislings and why did they pick Zelensky? Who created Zelensky? Kolomoisky. Kolomoisky created him. He's like it would be like if he was the man of the people or a servant of the state, whatever it's called. That show was called. It'd be like Martin Sheen all of a sudden running a company. He's Borat. He's Chauncey Gardner. We know what this is all about. Believe me when I tell you this, of course we know this. But you know this, and I say we know this, but you know what? They can't. Susie says, Mr. Rell, you have covered so much ground in 45 minutes, I can't keep up with you. Sorry. What does that mean? I can't keep up with you. Sorry? I can't keep up with you. Sorry. Okay. Well, listen, thank you. Maybe next time we'll slow it down. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much. Remember, one more thing. I keep telling you, this is critical. February 3rd at the Cutting Room in New York City. Tickets available. Go right now. You can see where they are. They are wonderful. Okay, let me give you this. Where in the hell? Where is this? Just a minute. That's not it. That's not it. Here we go. Here we go. Da da da. Yes. Da da da. Here we go. That particular. How do we say that? Let me see if I can put it right here for you. This would help even more so if I could put it here. Here is the link. Make it a point. And by the way, if you think this is fast, you want to see me on stage. It's lightning. It's whipsaw fast. Because that's the way I work. That's the way I run. And that's the way I roll. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Got more videos coming up. Don't forget the private channel. If you want to hear the deep, dark, dirty stuff, Sparky would like it too. LionelMedia.com. Sign up. See you tonight at 7. Don't ever change me that sincerely. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.